But I'm in a good mood. I have to laugh. I have to be jocular. Because after what I've seen here in just the past several hours, but really the whole last week in the world, everybody in this world has gone literally nuts. Everybody is as crazy as a rainbow trout in a car wash, except for you and me. And I'm highly concerned about you, Brian Last, with some of your recent takes on breakfast foods. But the whole world is falling apart in wrestling and in life. And I tell you, but we're going to have fun talking about it. So I'm going to get the fuck you out of the way real early. Wild card, bitches. This is a surprise fuck you. It's not political. This is something that affects everybody. It's wellness related. Fuck you, United Airlines. Well, the United Airlines, yeah, what you're grumbling back there?
I was going to say, that's unexpected. Where did that come from?
Yeah. Fuck you, United Airlines. Your slogan used to be fly the friendly skies. Now it's fly United and get COVID and die. Here's what, and now I know everybody's saying Jim Cornette was not on an airplane, and you are correct in that assumption. However, this past weekend, after a couple of delays and finally under different and quarantined circumstances, my sister-in-law Lubby got married out in California. And so therefore Stacy made what was going to be a quick trip out there to celebrate and honorate and pontificate with her sister in this joyous time. And she obviously, Stacy doesn't mind flying, but even obviously, and also in this era, she's got the sanitizing kit, and she's got the masks and the gloves, and has all kinds of cleaners and things all around her, and doesn't get close to anybody, and observes all the protocols you're supposed to observe, right? But at the same time, it's a risk, but it's a family occasion. So she gets out there and everything's fine. They have the wedding. Everybody's well. Everybody's happy. Congratulations, Lubby. And she's supposed to come back on Tuesday and was going to leave San Francisco at I can't remember what time, and get back in here at 11 o'clock on Tuesday night in Louisville, Kentucky, which is actually the best time to go to the airport here because there's no traffic anywhere in Louisville at 11 o'clock, on Tuesday night, and you can buzz right in. But I digress. She calls me that day. She's on United Airlines. And now here's the thing. They're suckering you in, folks. They're giving you cheap fares, but they don't tell you what it entails because these people, United Airlines, are playing willy-nilly with people's lives. She gets to the airport and gets to the gate and checks her bag, gets to the gate, the whole 9 yards, and they just make the announcement of, folks, we're not going to be social distancing today. The flight's full. What? I wasn't aware. Nobody was aware. A lot of people weren't aware that this was an optional thing. We're in the middle of a pandemic and you have these requirements are being sent out. You just willy-nilly one day, well, we're not going to do it today. We'll do it again tomorrow. So they oversold the flight. She's there. The bags are checked. She's still not sure what it's going to look like. She gets on the fucking plane because she's swept up in the procedure of the thing. He gets on there and everybody starts sitting down. Every seat is sold. No middle seat open. No people coughing, fucking hacking about. She says, oh, fuck no. She turns around and gets back off the fucking plane. And here is another thing I'm going to bring up about United Airlines trying to get people killed. She gets off the plane and she tells them she's getting off the plane. Can I get my bag? No, it's too late to get your bag. Well, fuck you then. I'm going to Southwest, which she does, and goes to Southwest Airlines, which ironically, in the 80s when we were flying in Dallas, it used to be the Greyhound bus of the air. We'd do that every time we got on the plane, me and the whole world-class crew. Just cheap, no frills, no service. Now Southwest is the ones got their shit together. They keep the middle seats open. They have the protocols. They're practicing the social distancing. They don't want their passengers to die, United Airlines. Your friendly skies can go fuck themselves. So anyway, they say it's too late to get the bag. Well, she's all right. Well, I'm fucking leaving. So she leaves. So now, correct me if I'm wrong, great Brian Last. You are a brain when it comes to this modern world. Long about after something happened about 20 years ago, aren't you not supposed to keep a bag of somebody's on the plane if that person ain't on the plane to go along with that bag? Isn't there some law against that?
I'm not sure what law there is, but you're certainly not supposed to leave an unmarked bag anywhere in the airport or on the train or
well, it wasn't
on
unmarked.
A plane.
It had her name on it, and it was in the plane, which she wasn't on. And I want one of our crack cult of Cornette listeners out there who's up on the requirements here, because United is violating them, because she gets off and she goes to Southwest and buys a ticket, leaves her bag on that plane, which connects through, I believe it was Denver, Colorado. And then they load the bag of the person who's not on any of these flights on that flight and fly it to Louisville. So that's bopping ahead slightly. She goes to Southwest and she buys a ticket on a quality airline. I encourage everybody to fly on Southwest Airlines if you want to live. And but they don't have anything because it's later in the day until 6 o'clock the next morning. So she's got to have her nephew come back and pick her up and take her back until she can stay over the night and then come back the next morning and fly on a real airline. But meanwhile, I had to go Tuesday night to pick her bag up. So I go to the airport, and here's the thing. The flight got in 10 minutes early. So by the time that I park and get in there, and the baggage wheelie-dealy carousel is turning around with just her bag and one other person's bag. Maybe they did the same thing, and there was nobody around, and everybody else had left. I get her bag, I come back home. Then the next day, I got to go back and get her. All because United Airlines is not taking care of its passengers and wants them to become sick, infected, and die. So fuck you, United Airlines. Don't worry about us anymore. Well, you never had to worry about me to begin with. And I encourage everyone within the sound of my voice not to patronize their establishment either. There you have that.
All right.
Can you believe that? Some
I can't believe it, actually, that they would all of a sudden just announce, we're not doing it today. I would have freaked out. And
here's the thing. And they're suckering everybody in because they're giving cheap fares. I said, well, why weren't you on Southwest? You're usually on Southwest. She said, well, this fare was cheaper. But they still didn't say we're going to infect you with the COVID and slam you up next to a bunch of drooling strangers. They just sucker you in with that, and then they tell you at the gate. They're not following the standard regulations that have been requested and advised and put down by the rest of civilized, polite society. So, and then she said if I'd have known that, she could have bought 2 tickets and had an empty seat next to her, which is what she ended up doing anyway, buying 2 tickets. For fuck's sake, it was like $200 to fly across the country. I'm surprised they didn't want to put her in the fucking cargo hold. In a pandemic, fuck the cheap prices. Up the prices and keep people away from each other. None of us want to fly anyway. Even before pandemic, and even if you weren't like me and absolutely refused to fly, does anybody enjoy flying unless they're the actual pilot? When's the last time you heard I had such a wonderful time being crammed into a small metal tube, elbow to asshole with some strange pervert, your knees jammed up into your chest like a goddamn girl getting sawed in half in a magician's box. I don't even think you get the free stale peanuts anymore. They might give you some warm piss water and a fucking wet nap to wipe your ass with when you have to shit in your seat because you can't get in the bathroom. Is that pretty much a description of modern plane travel?
Well, it does sound like a pretty miserable experience on the plane. I've never had exactly that experience flying, but
well, let me tell you something. There's a lot of experiences you haven't had. But if I'll tell you another thing, folks, if you want good quality customer service, JimCornette.com. Here, how about this? We'll pick things up with more cheerfulness.